Hey, what's up world? It's Albert here. Today I'm going to talk about hooking up my guitar system, and I'm going to do a couple of experiments to see if I can change the sound, because I wanted to add my Mesa Boogie to the whole system. Anyways, on this video I'm going to talk about how I normally hook it up as of right now, and then I'll see if I can add my Mesa Boogie to the mix. So without further ado, you guys, here we go. Alright, so starting off here, as you can see, I have my GT100. That's what we're going to use. My Kiesel guitar, the Mesa Boogie, audio interface, and the laptop. And I'm going to try to do this carrying the camera with one hand and explaining exactly what I'm going to do. So we're going to start off with the processor here. This is a preamp or a processor, whatever you want to call it, a guitar processor. It's going to have multiple connections, as you can see here. Sorry about the lighting, it's not that good in here, and I didn't want to take my equipment outside. So we got input, we got access in, don't worry about that. Output, you notice I have these numbered just because to keep me memory. We got ground control, so I always keep it grounded because we're in America, I guess. I don't know, always keep it grounded. Send and return, USB, media, and power. So anyways, so the first thing we want to do is the first connection. To make this real simple for us, we're just gonna do like I'm gonna connect stuff, but kind of like in a fake way. So let's see if that focus is there. Okay, so the first thing we would do is we will connect the cable to the input directly into the guitar. So that'll go into the Kiesel. So Kiesel into here. Next thing is you want to get 3 cables, and I don't know if you can see them, but I do have it labeled. See, there's a 3 on that one. I don't know if you can see a 2 and a 1. So then what I do with these cables, and I have them all clipped together, as you can see, with the straps, like a little zip ties. So I put 2, and make sure these are good. So 2. And make sure the 1 goes into 1, and I make sure the 3 goes into 3. There we go. So now we got 1, 3, and 2, and these are labeled 1, 3, and 2. Make sure the cable at the other end of the guitar cables are the exact same number. So now we could go into the Mesa Boogie. We'll put down the controller for now. Here is the Mesa Boogie. This is the Mark 35, and I'll explain real quick. As you can see, Mark 35. Here's the power and power standby. The reason why is you want to make sure when you turn on the power, you don't turn it off. You leave it on as long as you're doing your gig or whatever you're doing. You leave it on. The only thing you should turn off is the standby here, and that will just make the power amp not, but the power will still be on, so you keep your tubes nice and warm. Basically, that's all it's doing. Here we don't have to worry, just simple. Sorry about the lighting, you can't see crap. This is just simple controls. That wattage. We got 2-channel amp here, so let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Yeah, so you see a let me see there. So you do see a 30 watt on top, or 35 watt on top. Yeah, it's crappy, I'm sorry. Anyways, 35 watt, 25, 10. That's for the bottom channel, up channel. EQ, you can either have it on for the top channel, off for the top channel, on for the bottom channel, off. Your simple controls here. And then you have different controls here. You have a clean, a fat, and a crunch. That's for your top channel. So you decide what you want. You want it clean, you want a little fat chunky, or do you want just like a crunch, little distortion? You add, you know, whatever you want there. This here, you keep it in the middle. If you want it on the top, only the top channel will be able to be switched on. If you keep it in the middle, both channels will be able to be switched on with the controller. If you keep it on the bottom, only the bottom part will distortion. So you see a green for all the clean channel, red for the distortion channel. So I keep it right in the middle, control everything. Alright, here we go, another setting. So this setting here, what we're gonna do is we got whatever type of distortion you want to use for your guitar. The top one is a MK, the MKC. I'm sorry you guys can't see that, it sucks. MK2C plus. That's like a Joe Satriani, a good crunch sound, great distortion sound, awesome. If you want a better, a little not better, but a little bit more distortion, like John Petrucci, that's his exact setting right there, is the Mark V. That's the Mark V, the original Mark V from the 80s. You put it right in the center. In the bottom one, if you see what it says extreme. It's going to give you a heavy extreme distortion. That'll be like 7-string guitars, death metal, all that good stuff. You'll put it on the bottom one. I personally keep it on the very top. I like that. It gives you a clean tone. If I do want to give it a little more crunch, like a little heavy more distortion, maybe later on in the night, and you're getting, you know, you want some heavier distortion, I would put it in the middle. Extreme, you better have a 7-string guitar because it is very extreme. Okay, so we're gonna flip this baby over. All right, here's the back side. The Mesa Boogie. Sorry for the lighting, like I said. I wish I had better lighting. I'll flip it so we get this way. Yeah. Okay, here we go. So backside. Same thing here. On the backside, we're gonna leave it on the ground. Right here, you get to see how you want your cabinet to be. You want to clone your cabinet, you could clone it. But right now, I keep everything here. Closed back speaker. We'll turn on the speakers. We don't have any speakers hooked up because we're just using the head here. This here is the reverb. This reverb you're definitely gonna want to use. It's better than the reverb they have built into the GT100. This reverb here, I already have it pretty set. You could go a little higher, but I keep it around there. Reverb's great. And here goes the send and return effects, headphones, and foot switchboard. So what we're gonna do on top, you'll see I have some stickers here, and I have 2, 1 and 2, and 3 will be in the front. So what I do is on the other end of my cables, I put 1 and 1 right here, and I put number 2 right here. So 1 and 2 go back here in these ones. That's where I get the 1 and 2 here, and then the 3 will go in the front. I got to turn this bad boy around again. The 3, I didn't mark the 3 because I already know where the 3 goes. The 3 will go into the input of the amp. So there you go. So we have 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so that's what I basically use for live performance. That'll be my connection for live performance. But now we want to get into the streaming. So there's a couple things I got to do here. So the first thing I got to do is I'm going to connect the MIDI controller. And it's a special cable I had to order from Amazon. And it looks like this. It's a MIDI controller. That will go into the output of GT100. And you will get the other end. Sorry, this video is not professional because I ain't got time for that. Here we go. So then we're gonna get the other end. Let me get the other end of the cable. Give me a second. Give me a second. I know time is money. Here we go. So remember what I said, switch foot, or foot switch. That will go here, right into there. Let's see. Bam. Make sure it's nice in there. So now we got another cable here. That's a foot switch cable. So now what goes on is now what I'm talking about here is when I hit the distortion pedal on here, instead of activating the distortion in this thing, now I activate the distortion on the Mesa Boogie. I don't need to use the toggle switch. So what I was talking about earlier before. This is what I was talking about. So this switch here, you know, you have to switch from the I just call it the Joe Satriani sound, John Petrucci sound, or crazy death metal sound. You have to physically come here and do this to the amp, you know, to get your sounds. You have to walk up to here and do this. Well, now you have that MIDI controller cable. It controls. Here you will have the settings where it'll have all the 3 different types of distortions, and you'll be able to control it with your foot. That's why it's called a foot switch. The distortion here, you still have the option to use this distortion, which is great distortion, by the way. But you're just going to get a little cleaner sound, and probably, you know, most people won't hear the difference. But as a guitar player, you could feel the difference. So that's what I'm going to use for the live stream. Got these cables. So now how do we get all this sound into the computer? And that's where another cable is going to come in. Just a regular cable. Well, it's not regular, but you're going to have 1/4 inch. These two. This is one end. You got one end left and right. The other end is just going to be a single. So here we go. So what we do in the back is either let me move the Mesa Boogie around again. Sorry. Okay. So what I'm going to do in the back is either, I do not believe we're going to use a speaker. Maybe this might be the outputs. I'm not quite sure, because I know this is going to power the speakers, but I'm not using the speakers. So what I'm guessing is we're going to go out of the headphone, because we're going into here. So now we got all this hooked up, all 4. We got the MIDIs, and the FX means effects controller, effects. So all the effects in the amp are now controlled by here. Plus I have all the effects in here. So I got multiple effects. And then now all that information is going to come out of this cable that I just put in. And I think it's right. We put it in the headphones. So instead of wearing headphones, what you're going to do on the other end, remember I told you we have these two on the other end. You're going to put it in my false gate. This here is a audio interface. So we're going to stick them in here, left and right. It goes right in the front, like this. And this audio face has volume, has a couple of buttons. It has an instrument button that you're going to click on. This will light up. And this is your monitor out, so you can hear. So that's it. You connect that. And what we're going to do with this thing, and this is, I'm going to have to use one hand, but it sucks. I have to use one hand. Sorry about that, guys. So this is the back. In the back, we got a USB to C cable, which comes with this when you buy it. One end is this guy. The other end is a USB 3. So we're going to slap that in there. So it goes right here on the output. There's only one connection you could connect that, and it's right there. And then this end is going to go, and I know it seems technical, but this end goes into the laptop. So let me plug this into the laptop. So there. And now that it's on, look at, there's no power cable on this guy. The laptop, it takes the power from the laptop. And now the laptop is now controlling it, and it's ready to go. As you can see, this is ready to go. If I power on this amp and I power on this and I grab my guitar, everything I play now goes into here, and it gets computer analyzed into the system where you can have your recording software and all that stuff. Now you're probably asking, well, where do you get the speakers for sound? Because I don't see no speakers. Where would you get that? So this is where you would use a monitor. On the back of this, you have a left and right monitor, and that's for you. That's not what the computer, well, the computer is going to hear the same thing, but this here is you, for you, so you can hear it. So you're going to get a left and a right, and then what you're going to do is you're going to connect, either you could connect, if you want, you could connect these speakers, but these are instrument speakers. You'll get a good sound, but you're going to be playing more than just your guitar through here. Your computer is going to have drums and all the whole band. You know, you're going to be playing with the band or whatever, electronic music, whatever you have, DJing. That's how I do in the stream. So what I have is I have these multiple studio speakers. So this studio speaker, you could just sit here, and then now with the studio speaker here, you get the output of this cable and you stick it in the back of this, and this is already amped. So this is a built-in amp. That's the volume. That's where you will put it in. There's the plug and there's a power button, and this will light up, and that'll be your speaker. So now you got a whole studio right here on my floor. Now that is just the audio part. We could talk about video, but all I have to say is with the camera, you need to get HDMI, that is this, HDMI, that is this, and then we're going to go out to USB. So the computer I'm holding right now has a plug. You plug a cable, goes into here, and then out into the computer. So now you have audio, and now you have video. Everything else is built in software. This is where you get your sounds. So now, right now, I don't use the Mesa Boogie. This is going to be something new I'm going to be using to get a little better sound, because I was listening to my streams, which sounds great, with this and that, just going directly. What I do is I bypass all this, and go from here directly to here. So I bypass all these. I go from here to here into computer. Guitar goes in, the effects come out into the computer, directly into the board. But now I'm going to bypass into here, out through here, into here. So I'm adding a whole new dimension. I don't know if it's going to sound better or if it's just going to make things more complicated. But like I said, I did research. I think that's going to be pretty awesome. And that is not even including the DJ system and all the other crap I got. Anyways, hope that made a nice video. 20 minutes. Good Lord, 18 minutes. Alright guys, see you guys later. Subscribe to the channel. I know this is not a professional type video. I'm doing all this free-handed. So yeah, enjoy. Peace.